Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Madiha Saeed, board certified integrative holistic family physician, coming to you guys live from my home. I hope you guys are well and have been having a great week so far, great and blessed, right? And I wanted to talk today about stress. Ha ha ha, right? Us as moms. It's funny because of the fact that us moms, we think that we're always stressed, or life right now is just overall really stressful. So these are the kinds of things that we really want to hone in on because of the fact that stress leads to a lot of chronic illnesses. And specifically, it's that, but we all know what stress is. It's that fight and flight mode response that takes over. For a short time, that's good, but over time, when that cortisol is that hormone where that's released when stress comes, over time what happens is that when that cortisol is released, it continues and it causes both short and long-term consequences. We have short-term consequences and cause fatigue. We have hair loss, skin issues, mood disorders, digestive complaints. All of those are short-term problems to chronic stress. Then we have that long-term problems where it starts to affect, where it starts can lead to chronic illness. And the statistics are actually pretty scary because they say that stress can double your chances of becoming obese, can increase it 5-fold from you to dying of a heart attack, and 65% increased risk of developing dementia. 65% increase, and then 70% increase of developing disabilities later in life, and an increased risk of breast cancer. So this is why managing stress is important. It increases overall chronic inflammation that we've been talking quite a bit about, thereby leading to your chronic symptoms. And 80% of those complaints that come to primary care physicians are due to stress. So it's really important to make sure that we manage this effectively. And again, when you go to your doctor's office, this is not something that they cover regularly because of the fact that we, as doctors, I know, for example, my husband's a family physician, so he has to see 28 patients in a day for our paycheck not to go half. So the more patients he sees, the more money we get. So especially with debt and all of these things, most physicians then have to stay on that hamster wheel and have to continue cranking out patients because that's how that we get paid. By getting a certain amount of patients seen in a day, or procedures, or whatever that is. So they won't really talk to you that much about stress. If you have a great physician, they may take a little bit more time, but again, all of us know that stress is an important piece of the puzzle. But again, it's just that time that we don't have to really dive into everything when you're there in our 15-minute, 10-minute appointments. So managing stress on your own and making that a key part of your daily routine is important for overall health and wellness. And because stress affects your hormone, it increases insulin resistance, it triggers leptin, it promotes weight gain, especially around the midsection that can cause diabetes. It messes with your gut, so it specifically weakens the gut flora and can cause dysbiosis that we talked about, an imbalance in the gut bacteria. And the gut is, you're like, why are you talking about stress and gut? Because there's a direct connection between all of our hormones and our gut, especially with there's a connection between our gut and our brain, and that is through your vagus nerve. It's like a bundle that goes through your spinal cord. And that is also known as, so our gut is known as our second brain. And 90% of your serotonin is made in the gut. And 50% of your dopamine, your feel-good hormone, is all made in the gut. So stress can actually weaken this gut flora, causing increased intestinal permeability, leading to chronic illness. Thanks. Hi, Noor. Thank you guys all for the heart love. I'm so blessed that you guys were able to honor me with your time today, because I know that in and of itself is really big, especially with this time when life happens. The kids come home from school and trying to get dinner on. So I am so blessed and honored for you guys to have so I can borrow some of your time today, so I can teach you about stress, because I promise it'll help out in the future quite a bit, especially when we keep that inflammation at bay. Stress is really important for the immune system. Stress suppresses a secretory IgA, an immune molecule that can cause inflammation. So because the fact that you now have a weakened inflammatory response, and so you have the weakened immune system. So we can actually get sicker when you're more stressed. And I remember when I was a resident in South Bend, Indiana, and I was a resident, my husband was a resident, so we were both interns. My son was just born, so I was like a new mother, new wife, new everything all at once, and with an 80-hour work week. And can you imagine, we were not taught any of these stress management skills. I would literally go to people and say, okay, how do you do it? Trying to balance all of these things and still stay sane and healthy. And they really couldn't tell me, because not a lot of, it was just so much to juggle at once. So we were not taught. My brother, he's an interventional cardiologist, and he is, when he was in internal medicine residency, he was taught like how to stress management. They drew a circle up on the board, and they wrote bang head here multiple times until you fall unconscious, and if you wake up and you're still stressed, then repeat the process. It sounds really funny, but we really not taught any piece of the stress response. Very minimal, if that. And I developed shingles. Shingles, yeah, the old person disease, yeah, that can happen in somebody who's in her 20s and 30s, right? So it is really scary, because of the fact that you can still develop these diseases when you have a weakened immune system. And because of this weakened immune system, I was, I had shingles, just because I was so overwhelmed and stressed, led to my autoimmunity, led to all of these conditions that I'm trying to now, especially with the 4 children, and then I practice, and then the book, and then the public speaking, and all these other things that I'm trying to do to spread this message. This is one piece of the puzzle that I really try to keep on top of, because I do not want to get sick. I don't want my kids to get sick. I don't want anybody around. I need to keep my gut as happy as possible. All of that is really important. So that's why I'm here to teach you. So now, how do I do it, and how can you? So I'm going to have some questions. So stress can be a main reason for inflammation versus, so stress can lead to inflammation. And if you have an elevated HSCRP, Rhonda, that can be due to stress. It can also be due to leaky gut. So remember all of those different pieces of the puzzle we talked about? We talked about, the 4 S's: stress, sleep, social, and spirituality, and the digestive health and detoxification. All of those pieces, if any of those are off, it can lead to stress. So making sure that stress and inflammation. So stress is a really key part of that whole system to keep your body in balance. And but how are we going to, he's back. He's always back. He likes to partner with me. And help. This is just, excuse me. This is important too. All right. Okay. Thank you. And how are we going to calm that stress monster? And first we have to recognize what it is. We talked about the symptoms of like the fatigue and hair loss and irritability, but in order to first target inflammation, you have to first realize what's making you stressed. So that realization, and that could be an external source, that can be an internal source, anywhere actually. So we got to just look deeper, and we have to make that assessment. I like to take a piece of paper and write it all down to make sure what kind of things are stressing me out, and even to the point where your past can stress you out. I've had so many people know I have no stress and I don't know what's going on. But here you are having all the symptoms of chronic stress. But when we look into her past or his past, there's a lot of trauma there. And that can then be creeped up inside, especially if that trauma wasn't dealt with appropriately. So that's something that we want to focus on. So when you look at stress, you want to look deep and then go deeper. Because a healthy hypothalamus pituitary axis is really important to keep everything balanced and keep those good bugs happy and healthy, also to keep you happy and healthy. So there are so many different relaxation techniques that we can try, and we got to just choose a couple that we really like and start implementing in our daily basis. We have a practice that makes perfect. So you want to start it, on a regular basis. It only takes a couple minutes, 10 to 20 minutes at the most, a couple times a day to help sort of bring down everything back to baseline. And because sometimes, especially in this day and age, we live in chronic high stress, so we have a different baseline. So bringing this down allows you to then, simplify everything and keep your body balanced. So we got to find a method that works for you. And there are the ones that I do recommend my patients are especially, these are cheap and easy, cost-effective ways that you can do to help prevent chronic illness. And free ways to develop chronic illness. And I'm up for that as a bargain shopper. Yay, free! Free is fun! So, the power of our breath. And this is where abdominal breathing, you can lie on the floor, you can sit, and you want to just put and so, hi everybody, thank you, Noor. And you want to put your hand on your belly and one on your chest, and you want to make sure that when you take deep breaths, that your abdominal, the hand that's on your abdomen is moving, not like, no, that's not breathing, right? So we want to focus with your hand on your belly and making sure when you take these deep breaths, and you can do it with your eyes closed, you can do it with your eyes open, and you want to breathe in for a count of 4, hold, and then breathe out for a count of 8. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and then let go for a count of 8. That's the power of your breath, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel those things just slowly start to improve. So that is abdominal breathing, belly breathing. All of that can be incorporated into your daily routine and can be done either on a flat surface or just sitting up, so in any location basically. Then we have visualization, and visualization, or it's also known as guided imagery. And this is where you visualize a journey that is peaceful, or a calming place, and that's going to help you relieve the stress. And you want to sit in a quiet place with like loose clothes and close your eyes and just imagine that restful place. And just take in and notice the smells of that restful place. And we have just all of the sensations of that restful, peaceful place. And you want to imagine that in your head. And when you're ready, you want to do that for a couple minutes, and then you want to wake up. When you wake up, that helps, because what happens is that then you're a lot more calmer in the day. Noor says, how many times do you have to do that? So I would start off with about 10 minutes starting off, and then you can even increase it. But even for me as a busy mother, 10 minutes is a lot. So I want you to at least do something, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes. It really helps to balance, put your body back into balance. And you want to do that, I mean, even go up to 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but you start somewhere. That is important. I mean, yes, we could say we have to start 30 minutes 3 times a day, but who has that? That in and of itself, that sounds daunting. Okay. And so that you just want to start off anywhere. And it could be in the day, it could be in the night. Again, sitting in front of the television and just watching television isn't really relaxing, because it needs to be. Oh, really? Where's your pocket? No, there's no pocket in your shorts. In these shorts, at least. And so you really want to visualize that and then do that any time of the day, because and sitting in front of the TV is not going to work, because it needs to be an active process. It needs to be an active process to help bring your body back into balance. Another stress management technique is known as progressive muscle relaxation. And that is where you lay on the floor or sit in a chair and you slowly you deliberately tense your muscles and then release them. And this can help, again, with stress levels and to know where you're, how to really, what you feel like when you're relaxed. So you have to consciously relax to know what you feel like when you're relaxed, because we live in a constant state of chronic stress and chronic muscle tension. I know when I go to work in the morning, especially with a crazy morning, I'm like, my arms, I'm like, oh, I'm stressed. I'm stress relieving. No, we got to really start to relax those shoulders, breathe deep in and out, and then practice either abdominal breathing. There's visualization or guided imagery. There's progressive muscle relaxation. And what that one is that with your breaths, lay on the floor, sit in a chair, but slowly so you can start in the foot. You can relax your toe, and then so you deliberately tense that specific muscle group, and then you let it go. And you want to do that. You want to start off, some people start with the bottom, and you slowly tense your right foot, inhaling, squeezing as tight as you can, hold for a count of 10, and then relaxing your foot, focusing on that tension flowing out of your body. And then when you're ready, then you shift your attention to the next one, to the next body part. Some people like to do one side and then the other, or they like to just move from one side to the other side. So whatever it is, the most popular sequence usually is like the right foot, then the left foot, and then the right calf, and then the left calf, and then the right thigh and the left thigh, and then the hips and the buttocks, and then we have your stomach, your chest, your back, your right arm, and then your left arm and hand, shoulders, neck, right? And then we have is finally your face, your forehead, your lips, and then if you're left-handed, you might want to start with your left side. So whatever you're comfortable with, you just want to tension and then release. And then as you release, really take a deep breath out and just really force some of that tension out of your body, and that helps to help manage stress. Then my favorite is meditation, and where you can choose a specific spot, and it could be quiet. And I like to practice mindful meditation. That is where you choose a quiet, relaxing spot, keep your spine up straight, choose like a feeling or a focus point inside, and it could create that. And then I like to combine them all together, create that guided imagery with like the visualization of a very peaceful place that you would be at, and become aware of all your sensations. What are you feeling at this moment? How are you feeling right now? Because a lot of times what happens is that we have a lot of stress built up because of our past and because of our future, all the things that we need to get done. Sound familiar? This happens to all of us. I go to sleep and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get all these things done. But when I practice mindful meditation and really focus and not, gently keeping focus on a specific object, focusing on what my body feels at this moment, taking a deep breath in and out, all of that really helps to improve your symptoms and gets you back into balance. And you can combine that with your breathing techniques, your progressive muscle relaxation. You can do that as you're walking. You can do that. I love it because you can do it all the time. Even if you just have a little bit of time, you can use mindful meditation for that purpose. Then there are a lot of other lifestyle techniques that could be applied. Just by healing the gut, that is really important. Adding probiotics helps to slowly lower inflammation and improve the overall stress and put your body back into balance. Staying hydrated, foods high in B12, like grass-fed beef and fermented foods and wild-caught salmon, all really help to improve your stress levels. And then there are trying to avoid caffeine because that does keep you revved up. And no alcohol, because all of that interferes with your sleep cycle, and you need sleep to optimize, to stay balanced. Drinking teas like chamomile and dandelion, unholy basil, all of them really helps to lower the stress. And then sometimes you can even have extra supplementation to help support your adrenal glands. Living in an environment that is non-toxic can also really help. Keeping everything that you put on your body should be equally as important as what you put in your body. And cultivating those fun relationships and having fun, right? What I try to do here. Even though it's a lot of boring information, but I try to keep it a little bit entertaining. And optimizing sleep. Playing with your kids and people that you love. Hugs and kisses. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? He said no. Please, just one kissy. You were giving me kisses all morning. No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna just kiss. Oh, can I have a kissy? And then finding that higher purpose. For me, this is my higher purpose. Yeah, and taking care of these kids, right? But my higher purpose is do that. And down. Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. And then exercising, right? Finding a type of exercise, and that could be an exercise. Yes, it could be in the bedroom exercise, right? That's also really relieves stress. But an exercise outside the bedroom is also really important for you guys. So that's where focusing on aerobic exercises or the strength training and core support and fascial work and the yoga and all of that is really important. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's all really important to manage stress. So I just gave you really briefly all the different techniques, and there's so many more techniques that could be used, like hypnosis and biofeedback, and there's heart math, and there's float tanks, and there's relaxation apps that you can do on your phone. So there's so many things that you could do to help you relax. But the thing is, we need to start to incorporate that into your daily routine to then help keep your body balanced so that we can prevent you from seeing me that often. You know, I love to see you, but that keeps you out of the doctor's office. It keeps you healthy, happy, inside and out. Have a great week, you guys. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, if I have enough time, I'm going to do another Facebook Live, and we're going to talk about all the factors of inflammation in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to see you guys later. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. 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 Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say mwah.